No one deserves to live in a polluted environment, and those that pollute should have to be held accountable. If individuals in a community don't step forward and demonstrate their concern, silence is consent.
It started with tons of dead seagrass. It would just fill the canal where you can hardly see the water. After that, we started getting the white scum.
Well, we woke up one morning and found nothing but large soccer ball-sized scum balls coming across the water into our canal, which completely filled our canal with a layer of scum.
There would be days where the scum would be this thick on the water. It looked like it snowed, filling the entire canal, and then there'd be scum balls like this big on top of the scum that was just lying on the water.
I felt like I was living in the bottom of a septic tank, is what I felt like. That's what it looked like, that's what it smelled like, and you can only imagine what it was doing to the wildlife around the area. We went from seeing anywhere from 150 to 200 pelicans every morning with the sunrise to seeing 0.
I was just horrified by it. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. It came like overnight. In addition to that was how many dead fish there were on the beach and dead birds. And I mean, we see dead fish from time to time, but not the dead birds. And it was just the most heart-wrenching, heartbreaking. No one could believe that it was happening, and a lot of paranoia associated with it.
Turns out it was a dry season pulse release from Lake Okeechobee is what it was. This had nothing to do with hurricanes. It simply had to do with the pollution in the lake and the releases of the water down the rivers.
We started educating ourselves and found out about the releases from Lake Okeechobee. What was puzzling to us, people are so environmentally conscious, and yet this was being ignored. Why was this being ignored? We couldn't figure it out.
Maureen was the one that came forward and said, somebody's got to do something.
They were going to release 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, more than they ever had before. They had been given a grant to do a study to see what kind of effect that was going to have on marine life. So I looked at Michael and I said, this is an obituary study. I mean, this is like they're going to study how many things are going to die. I don't understand this. I said, Michael, we need to do something. And he's like, we need to do something? What are we going to do? I said, I don't know, but we need to figure out what we're going to do. We need to raise awareness.
We sit at the mouth of the Caloosahatchee. Everything that comes down the Caloosahatchee hits Sanibel first. And so we were probably the first to begin to see the problem. I, like everybody else, shed a tear when I saw all the dead fish around the island. I went to Ding Darling one morning and there was dead fish as far as the eye can see. Tens of thousands of dead fish of all sizes were in our wildlife refuge, a protected area.
Describing it and looking back at it, it was extremely bleak, covering 80 to 90% of refuge waters. It's just mats of algae floating on top, as well as settling to the bottom and some covering the seagrass beds. Humans obviously saw the visual impact of it. People that have been coming here to Ding Darling for 50 years just were so distraught by this. You think of these refuges and these protected lands as nothing can harm them. They're protected. We put this geopolitical boundary around them and called it a refuge, and therefore it's protected in perpetuity. That's really not the case when it comes to a watershed environment. You have outside influences beyond our borders that we can't control, and it took an event like this to wake people up to say, listen, the Ding Darling Refuge isn't a place into of itself. It is a place that we still have to strive to protect.
The whole island stunk. It was unhealthy, and everybody was like, what is going on? And we plastered it all over the newspaper. I decided that I wanted to put a forum together. That was the start of the ball rolling.
When we first found this problem, for 9 months nobody seemed to care, nobody wanted to help, nobody really paid attention to what we were saying. Finally, Councilman Steve Brown at the City Council started paying attention and started making statements with us at the podium. We got the whole City Council involved, which inevitably got the whole city staff involved, and the city's doing a fantastic job now. And this problem starts upstream all the way in Orlando is where our problem starts, at the headwaters of the Kissimmee River.
We were the first, and so we acted first. And we have a history on this island of being very protecting of our environment. I mean, this is what we're known for, protecting our environment. And obviously, as soon as our environment was being attacked, we decided we'd attack back and it forced ourselves into a position where we wanted to defend what was ours, both from an environmental viewpoint and from an economic viewpoint.
PURRE stands for People United to Restore Our Rivers and Estuaries. We went on a campaign for membership. We didn't need that much money at the beginning until we realized the things that we really needed to do, because our first thing was educate the public. As we got into it more and more, then we realized where the fight had to be fought.
Initially, I thought it was all over. I thought our wonderful environment and everything was gone. And quite frankly, it was. People hadn't gotten, really upset like they were and decide we're going to do something about it rather than just sit around and complain. I don't think things would have happened that way.
That's the only thing that makes a difference, is that their heart is in it. And of course, they've seen this with me. My heart's in it. And there are not many people that have that kind of commitment, or as Mike says, the fire in their belly.
They truly have taken great pains to educate themselves, to properly inform the community, to speak based on facts, not emotion.
PURRE stays on top of all the issues and everything the decision makers are doing. And by doing that, citizens who care and are passionate about it can become a part of PURRE, learn about what's going on so they can spread the word, keep the water problems in the forefront of legislators' minds.
They keep it on the front burner. They keep the burners lit and warmed up. Because I will tell you too, in fairness to everybody, these are not simple issues. You can't just merely wave a wand and hope that it goes away. It doesn't work that way. They keep the pressure on our legislators. That's at the state and local level, at the county, municipal, and even to some extent the national level, because they do not hesitate in contacting our congressmen and our U.S. senators.
It's really going to require a local grassroots effort to get the attention of the state and federal officials to truly recognize the importance of protecting our resources here in this community.
We're well known in Washington thanks to our lobby team at Wexler Walker. As we move forward with legislation at the federal level that we need written, we're going to need votes. So we're educating senators and congressmen all across the country, and they all know who the PURRE Water Coalition is now. That's going to make a huge difference once we have national attention, and that's what it takes.
This is a very natural place. It's a very beautiful place. And the one thing that can screw that up is if we had foul water.
First of all, why should you even be concerned?
Now, this is the responsibility of everybody. And is it savable? Yes, I believe that it is.
But I also fear that if we don't start now, that the same problems will repeat themselves.
How can you help?
Get involved in it. It's amazing what a membership does.
Because without the support, we can't do it.
If you have any discretionary time, volunteering is a wonderful way to not only learn, but it enriches your life by giving probably your most precious resource, your time.
So as a result, we're asking you to help us help Mother Nature.
PURRE has its own mission. We are here for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to find out what's polluting our waters and get it cleaned up. We're doing all we can, and we want to hand our kids and their kids a clean environment, at least in South Florida.